trained professionals.
We're on the same page all the time.
Chili bees.
Elric,
He had no
what's
arm.
the best?
No leg.
Honey.
All of them. Yep.
All of it.
Honey.
Stroke the stub a little bit.
When was the last time she was here?
Will you marry me?
Okay. Sid. He's like,
That's me.
You push open the grand carved oak doors of the Elisar Thydark archive, their heavy weight groaning against their hinges. A wave of cool, dry air washes over you, laden with the unmistakable scent of aged parchment and leather-bound tomes, a delightful scent for any aspiring writer's nose. Sunlight filtered through intricate stained glass windows depicting celestial bodies and swirling constellations spills onto the polished marble floor in a mosaic of colored light. The rhythmic scratch, scratch, scratch of a quill scrawling across paper mingles with the hushed murmur of scholars poring over ancient tomes. You inhale deeply, the dust motes dancing in the golden light adding to the gritty texture to the air. As you navigate the labyrinth of shelves laden with countless volumes, your fingertips brush against the cool, smooth leather spines. Each touch sends a trill down your spine, a silent promise of untold stories waiting to be unearthed. The rhythmic creak of a rolling ladder somewhere in the vast hall punctuates the scholarly silence, a comforting background noise to your day. Suddenly, a voice cuts through the tranquil scene. It's Jonik Traren, your supervisor. His voice tinged with a hint of urgency. Oh, I guess you should read that.
Yensid.
Can I get some spelling of names before that?
Yes.
Or can you post them in chat while he's doing the...
Yeah, I can.
Ah, there we go. Yensid, a moment in my office, please.
Jonik
Yes,
stands
of course.
by the towering oak doorway leading to the restricted section of the archive. His elven features are etched with concern, a stark contrast to his usual serene demeanor. And I guess I have to change the song.
What would...
But I was so vibey.
I know, I'm vibing out.
I have plenty of songs.
Jonik Traren, and he is my... What'd you say he was? My supervisor?
Yes, he's your supervisor.
Yeah.
This is also very loud. Down to 20 you go.
At the library?
The library is commonly referred to as the archive.
Yep, I remember that. Okay.
So you
Did it
entered
not?
the office.
My music is dead.
Oh.
Okay, we're good.
We're good? Everyone got music?
Yep, we good.
You enter
Damn, that's cool.
the office where Jonik is waiting for you after he's where he kind of hastily begins to describe the situation to you.
What would be the matter, Johnny?
Please, close the door behind you.
Turn around and slowly close the door.
Would
Everything I
sit-
do is very slow and just kind of...
Would sit down in my chair and gesture for you to take the one opposite my desk.
Still closing the door. Around. Get my walking stick that I always carry. Just kind of slowly make my way there. Just reading the impatientness on your face.
Take your time, Yensid. Please.
Right. What's the matter, Johnny?
It is a matter of great importance. You see, normally, we have Denik. He is usually the one that we would send on a mission of these sorts, but time is of the essence and he has fallen ill. So, I propose a new plan. I saw the sudden mute when you saw it. Yensid, your dedication to your craft and your remarkable accomplishments have not gone unnoticed. You are very well integrated into everything at this point, and you're doing very well with all of your assignments. So I figure it's time to give you a new one. Perhaps spread new wings, if you will.
Sure, any new opportunity is an opportunity to write a new story.
Just the mindset I was looking for. Have you heard of the Titan Bark Glade Druid Circle?
Titan Bark Glade Druid Circle. Have I heard of them? In all my reading and all that in the
First
archive.
roll history.
Titan Bark Glade. What was it? Titan Bark Glade Druid Circle?
Yeah.
Yes.
I can type it out for
Okay.
you if you'd like. Although it's on the map.
Okay.
I've
definitely heard of druids. I've definitely
Yes.
heard of druids.
And bark and circles. That's a shame.
You've
I
definitely
also
heard
know
of
my
druids.
colors.
You're not particularly familiar with this circle of druids, but that's not really unsurprising given the nature of the quest that Jonik is sending you.
Speaking of, do you have a handout for Jonik's art?
Oh my gosh, I do. Thanks.
Absolutely.
One moment, please.
I've not certain I've heard of the giant tree skin circle of druid. What did you say?
The Titan Bark Glade Druids.
Titan Bark Glade druids.
Let's see. Yes, they are, well, unsurprised that you have not heard of them. They are a bit of isolationists, shall we say. They prefer to keep them to themselves and do not welcome outsiders so readily. However, an opportunity has presented itself. You see, the archive requires specific oral histories and traditional stories. You shut your fucking mouth. I read the word oral in here and I was like, I'm not going to get away with that. He's muted. Oh no.
I immediately thought of oral apology.
I know. That's what I did too.
Oh my god.
Oral documentation. What am I getting orally?
The listener. But yeah, Jonik.
Yes, this is
He's handsome.
Yeah, he nice. He look nice.
Well, so far, we have not been successful in acquiring these through normal channels due to the circle's isolationist personality. You, Yensid, your dedication to your work, as I have mentioned, has not gone unnoticed, and to be honest, you are becoming more and more qualified for a task such as this.
I helped start a revolution, so I'd say I'm pretty qualified.
Well, then, investigating a isolationist druid society is only a step down from that, yes?
Surely.
As I have said, this is why you're qualified. I cannot stress enough the importance of obtaining these stories from these druids. The archive needs them desperately. The histories might hold valuable information and knowledge about the land and their culture for aspiring druids, so that they may follow their traditions and become druids themselves.
To inspire others through words.
Yes, you see, anybody that feels that connection to nature and wishes to become a druid themselves, if this information was within the archives, well, this would be where they would come. This would be the start of their journey, you see.
Do we have relations with this glade?
This would be the start.
Currently?
Which is also why I'm sending you. A storyteller such as yourself, surely you can get on good terms with them and in their good graces, perhaps even share stories of your own. Perhaps show them that the outside world is not as scary as they believe.
But
Perhaps
it
it'll
is
be-
scary.
But perhaps they do not need to know just how scary you see. Perhaps for them, the value of knowledge will surpass the value of fear of ever having that knowledge. You see.
Hmm. What?
Well, there is a time frame for this mission. And as I have mentioned, it is of the utmost urgency. There is ongoing research, and the potential loss of valuable knowledge of the druids is it's approaching soon. And so we must act quickly. Do you think, Yensid, that you are willing to take this task?
I'll go wherever you need me to, as long as there's a good story to be involved.
Well, that is what I was hoping to hear from you, my friend.
Where is this glade?
Ah, well, I would reach over and start rummaging through a drawer for some maps.
DM, help.
The Titans-Park Glade is slightly north but west from Shirode. It's a huge forest, and these druids have a grove located.
I would start like pointing out on the map and making like a line with my finger.
You can see as the sparrow flies, it is approximately 800, 900 miles, and you will not be able to fly like a sparrow.
No, so how about as a turtle walks?
Well, as the total walks, over 1,000. No small journey, my friend.
And oh boy. Would it be faster to charter a small boat, or?
Well, you see, you will not be on this mission by yourself. I can offer some assistance. We do have a pack of equipment for you to be able to take if you would like.
Yes.
Or the archive is willing to spare 60 gold pieces for you to go into the town and buy supplies at your leisure that you believe you will need.
Pape.
Paper will not make the journey, my friend. It will be
Why
a
would
great asset to you
paper-
once you reach your destination.
How am I supposed to document things if not on paper?
Oh, no. You will need paper, of course.
But
Of
you
course.
just said it wouldn't survive the journey.
Oh, no. I was meaning you may go into town to procure supplies to help with the journey. I assumed paper was a given, being that you are a storyteller, yes?
Yes, but it's not cheap. I don't remember how much money do I make working at the archive.
Not a lot.
It's a modest
it's
like a gold
it's
a
like
week, maybe.
Not even. Like
Yeah.
maybe like 7 silver.
Okay,
Damn.
yeah.
If that. Honestly, wait, 7 silver is kind of high thinking about it.
Yeah.
For weekly
Yeah.
pay. And I really have to
Maybe
think
a
about it. It
silver.
is a prestigious library, but I feel like your current work is like one step up from volunteering. So maybe, just mostly due to its prestige, probably a silver a week.
Yeah. When I procure my own paper, it costs me roughly. How much does a packet of paper cost?
It's a good question.
Packet of parchment.
Be most of my wages a
Probably-
week.
Yeah, it would be. I really feel like it's probably like. I feel like I should just Google this.
Yeah, I'm
but-
curious.
Probably might be in my handbook.
It might be.
You Google. I'll Google.
Oh, that's not what I wanted.
I'm sorry, I just saw a typo in one of the notes, and he's
There's so
he's
many
named
typos.
one sheet of parchment is 1 silver.
Are you
What?
serious? What the fuck?
Yeah.
God!
No
one ounce
way.
1 ounce bottle of ink is 10 gold.
Well, you gotta work
what,
for
like
it,
5
honey.
months of salary? Like what the hell?
So
But I also
Yeah.
feel like you can easily get that stuff from the archive.
yeah, but for my own personal use,
Yeah.
that's all my money is gone. Right. So if the archive will procure the parchment and ink, and a quill. It's mine. Well, it's mine.
Yes.
Then the rest of the supplies, maybe the 60 gold would cover. But what is this pack that you might offer?
Well, you see, and I would step back behind the desk, open a cabinet that's like along one of the walls.
So the actual packs that he'd be able to take, he would have to go into the supply room.
Yes, and this will be a written supply list for such a
Yes.
thing.
And Donick would point you in the direction of someone named Vayril, who you know is like kind of like the quartermaster for the library.
Vayril?
Vayril, Vaeril.
Okay. So the options are 60 gold to go into town to procure my own supplies, other than paper,
Yes.
parchment, or a pack of supplies from
Precisely.
Vayril.
Yes, Vero has them over in his chambers. I can provide you this writ, which will allow you to retrieve one of those.
Well, to know exactly what supplies I'll need to know how we are getting there.
Well, you see, this is part of the problem. There specifically, though we know distance, we do not know precise location. This will be part of, shall we say, your homework. I will need you to do some research on these druids. We do not have all the knowledge we need, and the archives, as you are well aware, are vast. But you yourself are a researcher, and particularly in ancient lore. Perhaps you will have better luck searching for such things.
I could search the archives, but it sounds as though we have nothing yet. Maybe someone in town? Are there other libraries in town?
No, this is the main library. I wouldn't necessarily dismiss the library itself from having information on the druids. It's just that information may be hidden in tomes not necessarily about that subject and things of that nature. Because the archive is so vast and so rich in knowledge, it's hard to actually really know where that limit is of what is and is not in the library.
Okay. Right. Well, to get into the general area, just to the Titan Bark Glade, how would I get there to start? Am I going by horse, or would it be easier to go through the ring of Fatricite?
I was going to ask.
Solid no.
Well,
Or to perhaps venture south into the sea and around and up the river?
Vayril would have his journey map.
His what?
Vayril would have his journey mapped out for him.
Okay.
these things are not, shall I say, things that I have prepared for you. That will be Vero's department. I would suggest meeting him afterwards. I myself propose that you come in here to introduce the mission in the first place.
I will accept this mission.
It is wonderful to hear.
What is the deadline?
Well, it's not so much a precise date as it is an urgency. You see, that is part of the problem. The deadline we are unsure of as well, so time is of the essence. However, I am quite confident that should you make time your essence as well, then you will be able to reach it with enough time before such things would pass. And I will do what I can on this side to make sure I give you as much time as I can.
Well, I will go speak to Vero then and learn of my route, and then we'll begin research.
Wonderful to hear. In that case, so are you simply visiting him for route information, or would you retrieve one of the packs as well, or you prefer
I
the
would
60?
decide after I know the route.
Wonderful. Well, in that case, here, you may take this writ to Verl if you decide to retrieve the supplies. Otherwise, come back to me for 60 gold if you change your mind.
That's a lot of gold. That's 6
It is indeed.
ingots.
It highlights the importance of this mission. Yensid, you're chosen for a reason. The Archive believes in you.
He's
Do not
kind
fail
of
us.
daydreaming now already
Oh,
about
God.
like the mission and like the research he's about to start, and just like half listening as he's slowly turning to get up.
You just hear like,
Yeah, very Charlie Brown in his
Yeah.
head at the moment. Yeah, but the moment he gets to the door, the realization of a new journey, research, like exploration, hits him, and he moves so much quicker.
I like take off my spectacles and look outside.
He's
He
gone.
leaves.
He's-
So does he choose to be slow? This is a strange one.
I sit back down.
So
I will
you're
make my
gonna
way to Varel.
Farrell. Okay. I can put Farrell's picture on the screen. When you enter the, I guess, storage room is where Farrell would hang out. You would see them kind of busily going through boxes and moving things around, seeming to kind of gather specific things. And on the counter that kind of separates, like, if somebody walked in and where the storage stuff is, you would see a list of supplies. This is what Varel looks like. Varel is a furball. Please! No flirting in the workplace. Yeah.
Sid only flirts with books.
Honestly. So, kind of going through stuff, Varel would eventually kind of just have something in their hand and look at it and be like,
Varel, I've got an urgent mission from Jonik. I need.
I know, I'm
You're
working on
aware.
it."
Right. Do you have the route mapped out?
Yes, somewhere around here. I believe I do. And Varel will start digging through more stuff. I haven't quite got your pack ready. I'm working on that right now.
Well, you might not need to have the pack ready. It depends on the route. I'll see what you're going to offer me, and if I am not liking what you're putting together, I will buy my own supplies with the archive's gold.
Okay. And so Vera will put down on the counter and slide towards you a map that has your path kind of lined up for you. And actually I have it on the current map, so I can just select it. Make it visible. Oops. Not move it. That wasn't an option. So this is the map, or the route, excuse me, that Vera has mapped out for you.
And is this by... Oh, go ahead, sorry.
This is either by horse or walking, and it should take about 15 days on foot.
Right. I would probably require a horse. I myself can cross these rivers and streams, no issue. However, I worry about the pack's content. Is the pack itself waterproof?
As much as a pack normally is waterproof, we don't really have a very large budget for the things.
I would need it to be waterproof to protect the parchment. Or the parchment could be put into scroll cases.
Yes.
Perhaps.
But I can also see who's in the library today. We get many strange visitors. Maybe one of them would know how to make something waterproof.
Sure. There's people that can do that. Of course.
I think it's a very common wizard spell.
Can I see the list of supplies that you were going to pack for me
Yes.
for such an adventure?
So, just written down on a sheet of paper as he kind of just hands it to you to look at. It has basically the druid's starting supplies, so a wooden shield or simple weapon, a scimitar or any other simple melee weapon, leather armor, an explorer's pack. What's in an explorer's pack is written on there. And then there are some optional things as well, such as like a map of the region, a walking staff, parchment and paper, inkwells, quills, a book on herbalism, things like that.
I think that would cover just about everything that I would need.
Okay.
Except for making sure the parchment stays water. There's no parchment in this list of supplies.
I can get you parchment. That's not a problem.
Yes.
There's no scroll case, but maybe we have an empty one in here. Again, I can ask the people within the library out, but I still need time to pack.
I will need at least. Gosh. He's trying to think of how much history he might be able to persuade these people to give him. I'll probably need upwards of 5 gold worth of parchment.
That's a lot of parchment.
If not more. But 5 gold should suffice for the start. The rest I could remember.
Okay. I will scavenge around to see if there's 5 gold's worth of parchment that I can part with. And finish packing and then go ask somebody if they know how to make a bag waterproof. But I'm going to
Here
need time.
is the writ for the supply pack.
Yeah.
And when it's ready, I'll come back and get it.
Probably end of the day, maybe tomorrow.
I will start my research then.
Very well.
Thank you, Meryl.
Yes, of
Oh,
course.
it's an adventure.
5 gold worth of parchment. So you step back into the library proper. I think I actually have a picture. Oh. Well, bam. Okay.
I know. Ooh, it's so fancy. I know when we talked before, I kind of started as a shelf stalker kind of person, right? And then moved on to research and all that. But is there a main person in charge of where things go in the library, like which sections they go to?
I guess I would technically be Jonic.
Okay.
But Jonic's
But I'd
knowledge is kind of like you would have a more intimate relationship with the books than Jonic does. Jonic would know what sections and when something new comes in, he would put it where it belongs. But that's the extent of what he does. Whereas being a shelf stalker of this library for so long, you I said intimately know where these books go and what books are where and things like that.
Okay. I'm going to start then in a section that is going to give me a book that is the general history of the Grimstone Isles.
The Grimstone Isles in total.
Yep, in total. To then narrow that down to just history of the Titanbark Glade, to then try to find mentions that I can then cross-reference.
Okay. You can roll me either a investigation or history.
Oh, second roll. Both are shit, but we will investigate this. Natural 20.
Okay. Okay. So, in terms of the Grimstone Isles history, what in particular are you looking for there? Because that's obviously a lot of information.
Basically, history of groups of people that have lived throughout the Grimstone Isles, and its history of documented existence, as well as places of note.
Okay.
or like prominent civilizations that have come about, that kind of thing.
So originally, the Grimstone Isles were co-inhabited by dwarves and elves. The elves were very nature focused, and the dwarves were more about innovation. And so there was a huge conflict between them, especially regarding the way Fatrixite, the magical ore, should be used. Where elves believe it should be kind of preserved and naturally kind of extract the energy from within, where the dwarves wanted to harvest it and use it in their inventions. This caused a civil war that ended up splitting the Grimstone Isles into Northern Grimstone, where the tinkerers and the inventors live, and Southern Grimstone, where you can find a lot of magic wielders, but mostly just creatures and people connected to the, I guess, ethereal side of nature. In terms of important locations, you have Platinum Peak, which is said to house the mythical workshop of Idon, the god of professions. And you also have in the south side Kafhina's well. Kafhina is the goddess of sleeping dreams, and her well is said to lead to her domain. Some scholars believe that's limbo. Other people believe that that's actually where elves go when they trance. More specifically on Kafhina's well, it resides within the Titan's Bark Glade. I almost said blade. Within the Titan's Bark Glade, and it is believed to be the connection to the goddess's domain, and it grants Fey-touched creatures the ability to enter the domain when they trance. If a person gets lost within the Titan's Bark Glade, they can rely on Vivify to guide them to the well. Vivify is essentially like these moths that create a luminous that will lead them to the well no matter where they are in the Titan's Bark Glade, because these moths flock to that location.
With my knowledge of whatever research I have done here, reading every book that I can get my hand on, do I know of druids? They're my brain not working.
Okay.
I'm working on 30 minutes of sleep.
Aw.
What am I trying to say? They're tied to the Fae or to Kofina or anything like that. Not particularly this set of druids, but do I know of any druids that are tied to
Druids?
that or to the Fae in general?
Druids are not normally tied directly to Fae. However, this is common knowledge that druids connected to Fae are reside within the Sacred Grove. And that is essentially, if you want to think about it, like the Feywild. The closest thing to the Feywild that you can get to on this plane. Like there's dryads and centaurs and fairies and pixies and all that stuff live there. This is very different. This is more... The best way I can describe it is kind of ethereal, like nature. It's not necessarily like a creatures, but you have different fauna and flora here. In terms of the Titan Bark Glade itself, the information I can offer you with your natural 20 is that it is a remote ancient forest far to the northwest of Sharone. The region boasts towering trees, vibrant flora, and a vibrant ecosystem untouched by civilization. Ancient texts mention that The Druids established their home there centuries ago, driven by a deep connection to the land's primal energy, which some scholars believe may have a relation to Kafina's well.
Okay.
Another thing
Then
to note about the Druids is that they maintain a strict isolationist stance, and they are wary of outside influence disrupting their harmonious relationship with nature. Their traditions tend to be shrouded in secrecy, with oral histories passed down through generations instead of being written down.
okay, I will take that knowledge and then search in whichever section I need to more about
About what? Sorry.
Kofina.
Kafina.
Kafina? Yeah. How do you
K-A-V-H-E-N-A. Kafina. Oh, I didn't prepare for this. Let me get my obsidian.
K-E-V.
Up, up, up.
Can I get one more spelling of that?
Yes.
I can spell it in chat if you'd like.
Is it Kevina?
It's
Ka-
not
Kavina.
Kavina.
Kavanaugh.
Definitely not
Kavanaugh.
Kafina. Like hyena. No.
Hyena.
I do think of hyena when I look at her name for whatever reason. It's not even close. I think it's just the H-E-N-A.
I was gonna say, yeah.
So, in particular, with Kafina, I'm looking for any kind of religious text about what followers of hers do, any kind of rituals they believe in, or symbolism.
Okay. I'm gonna need you to roll another investigation.
Yeah. Boom, it's an 8.
It's an 8. Okay.
But I'm taking all day to do this because I'm getting all my
Yeah.
research in.
Yeah. So, a basic overview of Kafina is that not everything that the Beyond creates is grave in nature. Kafina is a testament to this. She brings about a different kind of chaos, which mortals call imagination. Some other deities deem her will inept, but she is far from it. Kafina has no limits. Kafina's avatar is portrayed as an Air Ganassi. She has long white hair made from clouds, silvery blue-toned skin, pointed ears, and pale eyes. Her hair is said to reflect her emotions and turns black and thunderous when she is upset. Her facial features are soft, giving her a youthful complexion, and she keeps 2 drawstring pouches fastened at her hips at all times. If there was a single word to describe Kafina, it is idealistic. Kafina's imagination and dreams have no limits, and she has a hard time understanding why other things do. Kafina's worst enemy is reality. What, if you could pick one thing that you were really, really digging into, what would it be?
Symbolism.
Symbolism?
Yep.
What is her actual symbol? Kafina's actual symbol is a swirl of glittering mist. In terms of, I guess influence would kind of also be her symbolism, her influence on the world. So after she liberated mortal kind, Kafina's domain reaches the minds of all creatures when they lay down to rest. Although she can be a bit mischievous, Kafina never does so with the intention to harm. It is said that when you dream, Kafina is trying to tell you something. Sometimes it is good and sometimes it is bad, but it almost never makes sense. Creatures who awake with dust in their eyes know that Kafina visited them in their sleep. Kafina possesses 2 pouches filled with dust. After Kafina puts a creature to sleep, she sprinkles one of the 2 pouches' contents on the creature. For those who bask in chaos, she delivers unto them dreams of adventure and glory. For those who strive for order, the dust she bestows upon them gives them dreamless and often restless sleep. It is said that Kafina has a secret 3rd pouch that delivers the messages of gods. He's like, okay.
What was the 3rd pouch? That
It is a secret 3rd pouch.
secret. Yeah.
That is said to deliver the messages of gods.
Of God or gods?
Gods, plural.
Okay. From there, I'm now just going to move on to any research I can find into druids in a whole as to are most druids nomadic? Do they stay in one place? Do they, just basic general information? Or is every druidic circle different?
So you may roll me either a nature or an investigation for this one.
Yeah, sure. Let's switch it up. Let's go nature. It's the same modifier, but
What is
better
it?
roll. 20.
20? Dirty 20?
Dirty.
Okay, then I'm just gonna read this whole passage that I have.
Let's go.
Okay. A simple nature check clarifies that druids possess an uncanny connection to the natural world. They can manipulate plant life, commune with animals, and sense the flow of natural energy. Their magic, fueled by this connection, is often subtle and focused on maintaining balance within the ecosystem. You are also aware of the fact that there is a secret language spoken by the druids to communicate amongst themselves and with nature spirits called Druidic. Although you cannot understand it, you are now able to recognize it with the research that you have done. You also know that druids often organize into circles, specializing in specific aspects of nature, such as the circle of the moon or the circles of land. And their specific circle within the Titansbark Glade is known to belong to the circle of the moon and said to be the first.
The first circle of the moon ever?
Yes.
Of the moon. Okay. Ooh, I understand it. I'm definitely gonna try to write some shit and disrespect someone's mother on accident.
What? What?
Your mother was made of metal.
Yeah.
A terrible insult to druids.
Your mother was a cow. Well, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Only by day.
Only by day. You've had some really, really good rolls. So I do want to give you secret information that would only be possible with your good rolls. So this secret information, which you find deep within the library in a really old tome, pages almost turning to dust, but you're not Gimbal, so it's fine. Is regarding Fatrixite. So hidden within a dusty tome, you stumble upon a cryptic reference to Fatrixite being used in ancient druidic rituals. The text mentions the ore's ability to amplify natural energies and potentially channel the power of the land itself. However, the details are fragmented and shrouded in warnings of unintended consequences if used incorrectly. I do have an excerpt. Let me know when you're ready for me to read it.
Yes.
Maybe I'm not ready. Hold on. Okay. In the Empyrean era, when the world was young and magic pulsed strong, two goddesses walked hand in hand. Fatrix, the goddess of magic, with stardust in her eyes and spells dancing on her fingertips, held sway over all things magical. Her dear companion, Kafhina, the goddess of sleep and dreams, ruled the realm of imagination, her magical dust curating fantastical landscapes within the minds of mortals. Legend speaks of an unbreakable bond between these goddesses. Fatrix, ever intrigued by her ideas, would weave Kafhina's most whimsical dreams into reality. The world bloomed with fantastical creatures and breathtaking biomes, testaments to their shared power. It was during these moments of creation that Fatrixite was born. This rare ore is a byproduct of their combined magic and arose from the very points where dream and reality intertwined. It glowed with raw, potent energy, a physical manifestation of the magic at its peak. But like all things touched by the divine, Fatrixite held a double-edged blade. Its volatile mirrored the sheer power it contained. I can't read. Its volatility mirrored the sheer power it contained. Wielded with respect and understanding, it promised unimaginable feats. Yet, a single misstep, a touch of arrogance, could unleash explosive consequences. Scribbles of ancient rituals dance in the margins. Cryptic references to druids harnessing Fatrixite power to amplify natural energies, to channel the very lifeblood of the land itself. The details, however, are fragmented, shrouded in warnings. For those who dare tamper with such a potent force must tread carefully, lest they unleash a power beyond their control.
Okay.
I succeeded. That was
That's
a little tough.
crazy.
I feel like I need to drink water now.
Can I get a copy pasta of that? As I am going to, depending on how long I've spent thus far, like, because I know I did have a bad roll, so it's taking time to find that information. And I imagine I'm getting up crack of dawn, so I'm not going to be up all night researching. But if there's time, I am going to copy down verbatim in my notebook, my personal notebook, this information about Fatricite and the gods that are tied to it. And then Fatrix and Kafhina. Okay, that was my question. I had a question as you were reading it. You said her dear companion, Kafhina. And I was like, deer as in deer or deer as in like
Deer as in
It's a big difference.
closeness.
Yeah.
Kafhina is an Air Ganassi in terms of how people.
That's why I was like, wait,
her.
now she's a deer?
She's not a
Would
deer.
make sense if she's a druid too.
No, she's
she
not.
could
Yeah.
take the form as a deer if she wanted.
I would say by the time you finish all of this, actually, is there anything else you want to research?
Actually, yes. Well, I would imagine in my research and finding out about the glade, I would have seen, like notes about the vegetation, like if it's like a thick forest, like covered, it is untouched by civilization. So does that mean it's hard to traverse through and that?
Okay, roll me another investigation.
Okay.
Let's see what I can offer you specifically, though.
Because basically I would research like survival guide, like tips for like hoofing it in this dense forest, because I haven't done that in particular yet, right? In my adventures.
You find a book written by Gare Brills.
Bear Grylls, yep. Bear
Bear
Grylls.
Grylls. Yeah.
Today, naked and afraid.
We find some druids.
I'm gonna cough.
Dancing in the moonlight.
Also, nice 19. Damn, your rolls have been good.
Yeah, yours have been
They've
really,
been pretty
really
good.
Okay.
I'm not even good in int. Like my int
Flora and
is.
fauna.
I mean, it's a 15. It's not. I just want just how dense. Like, is it really gonna be a difficult journey? Like I'm chopping through the Amazon kind of deal, or is it more?
You would know that the forest itself is very dense. You're not going to be necessarily chopping through anything. It's not very tropical. It's more temperate. However, the difficulty lies in the uniqueness of the flora and the fauna here. So, would you say you rolled?
19, dirty 19.
Okay. So I'll say, mystical creatures flit through the sun-dappled glades and moonlit forests. Pixies with mischievous grins and shimmering wings weave illusions and play tricks on unsuspecting travelers. Spriggans, protectors of ancient trees, guard the forest with fierce loyalty. Myconids, sentient fungi, cultivate luminous mushrooms and maintain a symbiotic relationship with the flora. There's also the meteorite butterfly, its wings touched by celestial fire, that causes plant life to flourish wherever it lands, leaving a trail of magic in its wake. And the stardust moth, feeding on the nectar these blossoms produce, glows with an ethereal light and charms any creature it encounters, guiding lost souls towards the mysterious Kafina's well.
Lost soul. Like
That's what it
the
says,
dead.
guiding lost souls. And not necessarily the dead, but just pretty much any living creature that is lost can find a way with these moths.
Definitely not gonna happen to Yensu.
Ah.
I do have Wayfinder's memory, so it's hard for me to get lost.
Yeah, so that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Like, the difficulty for you isn't necessarily going to be like the path you take, but just what's around you. You would also know that the Fatric site literally grows in this forest. So, like, when you're walking, you'll see, like, crystals growing out of the ground at the base of a tree.
Ooh. Did it give kind of a... I know you mentioned a bit about, like, different butterflies feasting on the nectar of certain flowers in this, but did it have, like, a food chain? Like, really watch out for these things, they go after this, or...
I mean, you have things like bears, owl bears. In terms of the beast itself, I would say it's more common than... Common in D&D terms, I guess. So, like, the owl bears and things like that, you're not really gonna find any, like, monstrosities here, though. Since the nature and the balance of the ecosystem is kept so pristine by druids.
But everything is trying to trick me in order.
I wouldn't say everything's trying to trick you. It's more
Except
that
for the Spriggans.
you can be tricked. You can accidentally step into a bear's territory, and now it wants to fight you. Or you could step into a Fatric site that's currently volatile, and it could explode and kill you. You know, it's just things like that.
Gotcha. All right. I think then that would be everything. I would make a note to myself about the journey, just like those different things to kind of keep an eye out on. And then at the bottom, trust no one, not even myself.
Alright. Excuse me. So it's getting later in the evening. And you're kind of packing up, right?
Yeah.
Getting ready.
Did Jonik tell me that someone else was going with me, or I'm making this journey solo?
As of the moment, you're making the journey solo. He hasn't mentioned.
Then I will. Am I staying in the library? Where am I sleeping?
Where do you live?
Do they have quarters in the?
Let's say
library?
that they have like bunks for
Nice.
late night scholars.
And I'm just a permanent resident.
Permanent resident.
Hey.
On your way towards wherever you sleep at night, you would, well, actually, let me just read this. I don't know.
Cut out.
Did I? Good.
Yeah.
Anyway. Your eyes catch something reflective and metallic, within the book. Do you approach it immediately?
Well, yeah, I'm
Okay,
as curious as a cat.
Look, I figured as much. I just wanted to ask. You would notice it's a hidden dagger nestled between weathered tomes. The blade, a dark pitted iron, emanates a chill that seeps into your bones. But the hilt, carved from a smooth emerald jade, exudes an unexpected warmth. I need you to roll me a wisdom saving throw.
I mean, that's fine.
No.
Ish. 13.
I'm gonna change. I think this one will be fine.
A sudden candlelit dinner appears before you.
Maurice, here's my wine.
Ah, well researched.
You feel compelled to grab the dagger. In doing so, a tingle of death, a pulse of life. You grasp the hilt, the cool jade sending a jolt through your arm. A flash of emerald light explodes from the dagger, momentarily blinding you. When your vision clears, the world around you has dissolved. Gone are the towering shelves and the comforting scent of old paper. I forgot to turn this down one moment. I got very loud. You stand alone in a dense forest, sunlight struggling to penetrate the thick canopy overhead. The air hangs heavy with the scent of damp earth and decaying leaves. An unsettling silence reigns, broken only by the occasional rustle in the undergrowth, or the distant cry of a bird unseen. There's nothing but an endless expanse of towering trees and a barely discernible path swallowed by the foliage ahead. With the cold, smooth hilt of the vanished dagger still clutched in your hand, a faint emerald glow pulsing within the jade like a beating heart. What do you do?
So the blade itself is gone, but the hilt is still
Yeah, the
here.
hilt's still in your hand.
And it's slowly pulsing.
Yes. Why did this suddenly get very loud?
Sorry, I was trying to adjust my volume, and apparently I could adjust the whole thing, but I moved it back to where it was.
Take it, put it out, make it quiet. And then I have this for you to see.
Where am I? Where have you taken me, little dagger? I say that out loud to it.
You get no response.
Are you trying to lead me somewhere? I just kind of hold my hand out.
It continues to pulse like a heartbeat. And as you're kind of like looking around, you notice that there is a path ahead of you, just very densely covered in foliage.
Well, did I fall asleep on the way here? What? No, this is a dream. I will see where this dream will take me. And I just start walking the path,
Okay.
using the pulsing as a light source. I
That's so
guess.
funny.
A dim light.
Do you want to inspect the dagger at all?
Yeah, I am looking at it to see if, as I was doing this with it,
Yeah.
to see if like the speed at which it was pulsing changed at all.
You would notice that the speed itself doesn't really change, but the dagger is very unique, and if you'd like, you can roll me either a religion or a history check.
We're gonna switch it up again. Bang. 9 on religion.
Okay. You're not really sure where this dagger could have originated from. Like, it doesn't match any of the history books you've really looked into. Yeah. That's where I'll leave it.
Green like me, so you're a friend.
You would also get the feeling as though you're being watched. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that.
I will, as I'm walking, I am taking in all the sights. Is it really dark? You said it was
No,
moonlight?
it's probably like afternoon. No, I wouldn't even say that. I would say it's like midday. Even though you clearly weren't, like, it was late afternoon.
Like a quarter till half past noon.
Quarter to half.
I'll take in my surroundings and really, as I'm kind of walking, just see if my surroundings match the description of what I was just reading about the blade.
Roll me a nature.
Nature. 8.
You pass,
Here
actually.
comes all the bad rolls.
You actually pass. Looking around and looking at the types of foliage and stuff, you may not necessarily be within the grove itself, but you are definitely somewhere in southern Grimstone.
At least I'm still potentially somewhat near home.
As you walk the path, is there something you wanted to do?
Just as I was looking around, were there any creatures that I saw? You said
No.
I heard birds.
You
but
can
no,
hear very, very distant birds, but you do not see any creatures at all.
Okay. Then I'm just walking, happy as could be.
As you walk, you notice that the path you're walking splits into 3 different paths, and on the ground there are symbols. Let's say the far left path has a sun. The middle path has a symbol of a blade. It is like drawn, like it would be like drawn in the dirt with a stick kind of vibe. And then the third path is a leaf.
Well, a dagger brought. So a blade could make sense. This happened during my research of the druids, who are very much nature-based, so the leaf could make. What do you say, dagger? And I kind of see if it changes if I put it towards any of the symbols.
No.
Looking down each path, do I get any feelings from any of them?
No. Everything seems really serene. But I will say when you look down each path, they almost look identical except for these symbols.
Okay. Well, we're looking for druids. They love nature. We're going down the nature path. I follow the leaf.
Okay, so you walk down the leaf path, and you continue walking.
I'm gonna hum a little ditty that I heard when I was working in the mine. When I was a slave, weren't we like digging?
You were in an archaeological site.
Yeah.
The mine.
Okay.
Yes.
He's definitely gonna tell it his mines.
So as you start down the path, leaf, harmony and connection with the natural world. Interesting.
As you walk
I
down,
thought so too.
you see no one. And even the voice itself almost sounds like it's coming from beyond where you are. I feel like this song just isn't it right now. Hold on.
I know.
It's too late. I don't know which one to do though. Okay. because I was dumb and
That
didn't. All right.
That one right there.
This one.
Fluffing a duck.
It's close, isn't it?
Imagine.
No, I don't like this one either. Hold on. This
Ba-
one.
ba-
Oh gosh. That's just too much. Maybe
Harmony
this
in
one.
nature.
We'll do this one. We'll do this one. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay. So the path eventually, as I forget to turn down for the 18th time, the path eventually winds through this vibrant meadow filled with all these wild flowers. Before crossing the meadow, you would see 2 more paths with symbols drawn in the dirt. One would be the symbol of a stream, and the other would be that of a butterfly.
Curious. Streams. They only go where they're already going. And butterflies, well, they can fly twice as high.
But no more.
But no more, no less. What would each of these say about me? I say out to the ether.
You get no response. I'm gonna die.
The strong silent type. Alright. Alright. Well, the butterflies would lead the lost to Kafine as well. Perhaps they will lead me here. I go down the butterfly path.
On the butterfly.
Butterfly. Transformation and the embracing of change. Curious.
That's what I was thinking. Who are you?
You get no response as the path leads through a field of vibrant wildflowers, attracting a myriad of butterflies. I don't even know how you spell that. Myriad?
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 I'm educated.
I'm illiterate.
Okay, a myriad of butterflies. Now 2 more markers stand before you. One, a dolphin. The other, a redwood tree.
Ooh. A tree. Old and strong and tall. The dolphin. Don't take your pregnant women around them.
I'm doing this to laugh because I'm gonna start coughing.
Thorn in its root. Never to move. Playful. Tiny. I like a bit of playfulness. I just start walking down the dolphin path.
Dolphin. Creativity and finding joy in the natural world. Interesting.
We are on the same page. Anonymous voice. It's like you're reading my mind. Curious. Distant. Strange voice. So distant and strange. Curious.
You'll notice that all the paths, I believe 6 of them, 6 paths converge on the central point where you are now, this kind of clearing again, once more in a forest. And you see 2 more markers before you. One depicting the moon, and the other stars.
Ah. Yes. Patrick's or Kavina. Clever. I start heading down what I presume to be Kavina's path. The moon.
The moon.
Ah, the moon. Long-standing icon of mystery and intuition. Intriguing.
Do you mean Kavina's path? That's what you meant.
That's what you meant. Feel as if the path is reaching its end. You are presented with more. The path itself is based in the ethereal glow of the crescent moon and offers a glimpse of the world. 4 markers stand before you. One of vortex, the other spirits.
Vortex. Spirits. Any insights on these? No? Just a play-by-play after the fact? Curious. When you say vortex, like a whirling vortex, like in
Yeah,
with
like
water, or like just
well, it's just a symbol drawn in the dirt,
so
so
it's hard to really.
like a symbol for a vortex. I don't know how else to describe it. Squiggly lines, lots of squiggly lines in a circle.
Squigglies.
Isn't that kind of how you draw a vortex? No.
I just picture like when you said
Just a
vortex, I pictured like a
whirlwind?
whirlpool.
Well, that's what I was
like-
kind of picturing too, but then I was like, not even how you do it. I need to stop.
Kind of how I picture it.
Just survive the session, they said. Just survive.
Right. Well, I'm not really sure where to go. Kind of torn. Spirits, the dead, the lost, perhaps. A vortex, the destruction, or a portal to somewhere new and exciting. But the spirits, part of our past, our history. There is knowledge and power to be gained there. I start heading down the spirit's path.
A curious one. You would face the threat with a focus on tradition and past knowledge. Highly intriguing.
Yep. Sure would. Wouldn't you? No? When this is over, can we sit down and have a cup of tea and talk about this?
You get to what you feel to be this final split. And final 2 markers. One, seed. The other, a blossom.
The end in this mysterious sea, or the blooming of life, constant. I will travel the bloomed path. Whisper, whisper.
Ah, the bloomed path of the blossom. I see you are one with a blossoming of your power and a readiness to face the coming threats.
Threats? What power? I have no power. I'm but a writer, a historian, an enjoyer of lore, knowledge, and tradition, as you meant. All traditions. No power.
As you keep walking along the path, you emerge from the dense foliage, blinking as the sun's brilliance spears through the canopy overhead. The air loses its oppressive weight, replaced by a gentle breeze that carries the sweet scent of wildflowers and damp earth. A symphony of bird song fills your ears, punctuated by the rhythmic drumming of a woodpecker somewhere in the distance. The path opens into a clearing bathed in a warm afterglow. A colossal oak, its branches gnarled and ancient, dominates the center. Its leaves, a whirlwind of greens and golds, rustle softly in the breeze. Sunlight filters through the canopy, dappling the forest floor in a mosaic of light and shadow. On a branch near the oak's massive trunk sits the largest crow you have ever laid your eyes on. Its obsidian feathers gleam like polished gemstones, absorbing the sunlight. You can almost feel the weight of its gaze piercing through you, an intelligence older than time itself scrutinizing your every move. The air around the raven crackles with an unseen energy, a potent mix of power and curiosity. The only sound is the rustle of leaves and the faint rasp of its breath as it awaits your approach.
You look quite old, quite powerful. You look as though you have quite a few good stories to tell. And I start walking forward.
Welcome, Yen Sid. I am Korvax. Pleasure to make your
Kovac.
acquaintance.
Corvax or Kovac?
Corvax.
Okay. Your feathers are quite magnificent, friend.
You would also notice that as you hear his voice, the mouth doesn't move. You only hear his voice in your mind.
That's unsettling.
I have witnessed your journey through these woods.
Which woods are these?
That is for you to discover at a later time. It is not this time. I have a question for you. What do you aim to achieve with your existence?
To not be forgotten. Learn of the world so that it may not be forgotten as well.
Curious.
Tell
My
stories. Mainly.
And my final question to you, Yen Sid. How far are you willing to go to achieve this goal?
Well, currently I'm traveling 1,000 miles or so, but I've traveled further. I would travel to the ends of Amai, all of Amai, for this goal.
Curious indeed.
Yes, I thought so too. See if I get any reaction from him.
No, probably not.
Is he just staring constantly as he blinked at all?
He's staring at something beyond, like some distant visual beyond your comprehension. He never really quite looks at you. And upon receiving his answer to his question, he would flap his wings, and all these feathers would kind of just fall out and cover your vision until you have returned to the archive.
Trying to grasp one.
They constantly elude your grasp.
Shit.
Back to
Never-
the archive.
Is the dagger a dagger again? Or is
It's
it
gone.
still just the hilt? Oh, the hilt is gone too now? Curious? Corvax. Curious Corvax. I have to write that down.
And his brother, Curious George.
Have I heard the name Corvax before in my reading?
Roll me history.
Especially in any of my recent, which is 17.
Damn.
Not in your recent learnings. I would say that Corvax is said to be a mythological creature, a beast of extreme power, with the ability to see all the fates of the world unfold. But he's a creature who never acts upon that knowledge, merely just acquires it and observes. Because it is said that he is an extension of the god Ynir.
Extension of the god Ynir?
Yeah, Y-H-I-R. Wait. Y-H-N-I-R. I have COVID, leave me alone.
Yeah, you know.
Any relation to Jafar? Okay. Extension of the god Ynir. So what do I know of Ynir?
My history or religion?
Bing
About
bang.
all the gods
Bah!
today.
Salmon.
Ooh, salmon.
Okay, I'll read you the generic description. Ynir is the second son of the mother deity, born as a limitation to his brother. Where his brother gave life, Ynir permitted death and natural order. Although his brother made the most of the forests and the wildlands in the world, Ynir is the one who governs them. Some say when they've gotten lost in the wilderness, or they miraculously survive what they thought would be their final hours at the mercy of nature, that they've seen a man dressed in heavy furs, his face hidden and his features indistinguishable. However, they all describe the glow of his eyes under his fur-lined hood that pierced the darkness with an animalistic reflection. Ynir follows the cycle of life, and he never strays from the path. He is considered a fair but stubborn deity. Besides that, he is stoic and stale in conversation and prefers the solitude of the wilderness over the company of any deity.
Okay. Cool. Right. Is there a clock somewhere nearby I can see what time it is to
Oh,
kind
to
of
Reeves.
gauge
No, I'm kidding.
gauge how long I've been gone.
If you look at the clock, it looks just about the same time that you left before, despite your entire journey on that path.
Curious. All right, Corvax. What part are you going to play in this adventure? As I walk to my quarters, I'll just kind of write down all the things I saw, the different symbols, the description of Corvax, and the words he spoke to me.
Are you doing anything else before you retire for the night?
No, I think he's excited. He's gonna have a hard enough time sleeping because he's so excited to go on this journey, especially with whatever that was that just happened. So he's like processing that and just he's gonna go lay down and try to.
Okay. Then that is where we will end your first session.
Oh my god, it was D&D!
Yeah!
It
It was D&D.
I was so nervous about this.
Oh, that was so good.
Yeah, it was good.
I'm
I
glad.
liked it.
I'm glad. I was
Fucking Corvax, you silent
very
bitch.
nervous.